When did you realize your friends were actually fake friends? The day I didn't want to go to a movie because I wasn't interested in it. I was told it was a bad look if the group didn't go together. I realized that they cared more about the reputation of the group than me as a person. The group made plans to meet and hang out. I was getting ready in the salon. A couple of friends had to back out for some reason. The other friend then made excuses of his own, and I could tell. I tried cajoling him and offer ways for him to go, but he basically decided to cancel the entire group meetup. It was my birthday. When they didn't support me after my dad passed away, I didn't ask for much attention, but they were too ignorant. I was at a party, really depressed after a bad breakup, and got drunk. My abusive ex showed up, caught me somewhere alone and hit me. I begged several friends for help since I was too drunk to drive home alone and they ignored me. My ex-best friend was there, completely sober, and refused to drive home with me because she didn't believe he would do that. There's no Uber or anything in my country BTW. The whole thing escalated. One guy I didn't know ended up finding me alone in a field crying and throwing up, brought me back to the house, built a bed out of blankets for me, and sat guard all night to make sure my ex wouldn't do anything again. They stopped inviting me to hang out. They would ask me to drive them to parties, but not invite me to go to the parties. They basically ghosted me for a while. They were once such amazing and important friends, but they gradually became really arrogant. It took way longer than it should have to give up and find other people. When one of them dated my sister and stopped talking to me. After my divorce, we were couples friends, not individually. When I got my shit together and stopped fucking my life with bad decisions, my priorities switched to family rather than just getting fucked up all the time, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy for abandoning them. Fuck that noise. Life moves on and people change, that's cool, but don't shit on me for getting my life together. When I got blackmailed to not hang out with my real friends. I was in my early 20s when I got a role on a local film. The film was never finished, thankfully, so our names won't be on it together. One of the actors on the film owned a business that I later worked for briefly. Let's call him W. When I worked for W, I met some awesome people who were also working for him. W paid all of us garbage, even the highly skilled employees that you don't find everywhere. He also talked down on us and would leave us the business to take care of while he took vacations several times a year. My friends at work had dreamed of starting their own business for a long time. We all were fired or quit around the same time and got the ball rolling of opening their own business, which would be direct competition with W's. W was close with the creator of the film we met on. Let's call the creator C. C and I had become very close, too. As a young actress, C promised to introduce me to people and help me build my career. Time after time, C refused to get the work done needed to finish their own film. They also used me for a bunch of manual labor around their house. When my friends started making waves with their new business, C made me promise not to associate with them, otherwise C was going to tell their film friends, yes, they actually had some, not to work with me. All because C and W were close. I tried to tell C that W was a terrible boss and my friends have every right to start up and run a business, but C still wouldn't let go. I decided to say fuck it. Working on film sets is mostly creepy, and everyone seems to think they own me. I had a few good times, but I don't think it's worth it anymore. After one final film day, I did my job and left the set as quickly as I could. I ghosted C after that. Blackmailing a core cast member of your unfinished film is probably not a smart idea, anyway. So all the money C put into that film went down the drain because don't threaten me or my friends. Also, W's customer base liked me and my friends, so they followed us to their new business. W was out of business not long after. My friends and I are closer than ever, and I work for them part-time for good pay. Drinking buddy who stopped responding when I had a kid. For me it was the distance. I went to live abroad, some friends made the effort to keep in touch and to see each other if we had the chance. But with many the relationship just faded away and it became awkward even talking to them. I don't really consider them fake, but real friends will stay there if you need them, the same as you would do for them. After the fourth time they arranged a get-together on days they knew I was busy, and only would try and organize things after I'd said I was busy. And never turned up to anything I organized. When they ghosted me after 17 years of close friendship, I still have no idea what I did wrong, and for extra salt in the wound, it was right after I spent a week eating instant noodles because I donated every cent I had to one of them for her cancer treatment. Go fund me. Hurt more than any relationship breakup. Edit, for all those asking, yes, she definitely has cancer, no, she didn't die, and given that it was more than one person who ghosted me and that the cancer friend still maintains an active social life with everyone else but me, it's probably not for reasons related to her ordeal. When I realized I was the one always calling, then I stopped and friends disappeared. When they didn't wait for me whilst I did my shoelaces. When I realized literally just being in the same room as that person made me miserable. It's because the person was extremely self-conscious, to the point that they would overcompensate by putting others down every little chance they had, to make themselves feel above. I kept wondering why they would keep throwing me under the bus for no reason. Like we had been friends for years, why would they treat me like this? It took me years to figure out exactly how bad of a friend they were, no matter how hard they pretend not to be. It took me an entire year of ghosting to stop being friends with that person, because they loved putting me down so much they wouldn't stop calling me, texting me, trying to contact me for a year with no responses because they could not understand how someone could possibly want to stop hanging out with them because they are so perfect. When I told her I was suicidal and having panic attacks, never heard from her again. When I was fired, because one in the circle was jealous of my success and started bad-mouthing me to everyone behind my back. Lost the job and the circle of friends, even though I could, and did, prove that it was all lies. They still sided with the asshole. Also, more than one I helped in rough times by finding jobs for them, getting them into the interviews. When I lost mine, they all ghosted me. Needless to say, they all just proved that a friend is just an asshole who hasn't had time to backstab you yet. This was also when I realized who were my friends and who weren't. We were supposed to go to a tour and we save our money and pooled them. Fake friends told me they had to cancel the plan because ticket prices got too high, told me to wait a few days to get my money back. Real friends asked me why I bailed on them, and were worried that I had an emergency. Turns out my fake friends didn't want me to come and instead would use my money for their booze and told everyone else that I bailed out and took my money back so everyone else would give more for their booze allowance. That friendship ended and I also learned my fake friends were alcoholics and weren't strangers to fucking over people to get what they want. Today one of them is alive, their alcoholism ruined their lives and some even died from it. After graduating high school, then once again after graduating college. I think graduation is the ultimate test of true friends versus the people who were drinking buddies or people you hung out with because you all dislike the same cliques. When they stopped contacting me when I stopped drinking. When they roll their eyes behind your back. I swear, some people don't have peripheral vision. Reading these responses, I'm thinking to myself, they were never your friend, people change. It's okay. Move on. Expect less. Maybe it's you. In general, people are selfish and self-centered. Most like to talk about themselves exclusively. It doesn't offend me. It's the human condition. To paraphrase an old saying, I have friends who would let me help them move. I have some who would help me move. I have others who would help me move a body. I have found that the keys to friendship are to be a great friend and expect nothing in return. Take people for exactly who they are, not who you want them to be. I have tons of peripheral friends. People I can have fun with. Even true friends can come and go. If you are needy, this will repel people, even those in your inner sanctum. When they let the people who bullied me stay in the friend group. Deleted. When I finally became happier with myself upon receiving my official autism diagnosis and 4+ friends just stopped talking to me.